So, hope you can hear me. Here I am in bicycle world again. And I was just very nearly taken out by somebody overtaking me. And once they'd gone past me, they were all over the road. I suspect it's somebody very old who probably shouldn't be driving, but that was so close I felt it on my leg. So anyway, you have to pick yourself up and carry on, or stop riding. Every time I have a crash, people say, oh, don't you think you should stop? And it crosses my mind, obviously. But the benefits outweigh the risks. And if we stayed in safe all our lives, we wouldn't live. So here I am, running the gauntlet again. This lane, very damp, always very damp. That bit of it anyway. So what it sounds like when you're not very fit, which is me at the moment. Knackered. Mind you, it's still just starting, and just take a few minutes to warm up. As usual, as is my preferred option, I am into the countryside again. Towns are okay, but you know, there's thank you. I've ordered a handlebar mount for this camera. And it's partly because a friend of mine on Facebook pointed out that cameras can compromise your helmet if you crash, and I've only just started wearing a helmet properly. I've had one for years, but you know, wear it a couple of times and then off it goes, and then it comes on again and then off it goes. That's the man that just delivered it going past me. Anyway, back to the camera mount. Lovely poppies there, lovely roses I think. Oh, lovely. It's one of the benefits of cycling, that, you know, it's not about sitting here with your legs going round, it's about being out and keeping fit obviously. But anyway, back to the camera. So I bought this mount off eBay for the handlebars, fortuitously given what happened earlier, and I was just leaving home with it strapped to my helmet as per last time when DPD man turned up with the camera mount. So here I am giving it a go. Very first thing it did when I went down the hill close to me was it flopped forward and started filming the floor. So yeah, great, good start. So I have tightened it up, and what I've noticed first of all is a vibration when you go over certain kinds of road. This isn't too bad, even though I'll probably get some vibration here. So when you go over a certain kind of road, it's probably, actually that particular road has just been resurfaced with stones, and they just press them into the road surface. But excuse me, there's a lot of vibration. And I don't know how it's going to come out until I get home. But anyway, we're approaching probably the toughest hill in the area, well, one of them. Kind of the same hill really, but it's just further along, and but I'm going up at the right side of it. Hooray! So this I'm not going to go down. When I get to the top, it is the toughest, and it's called Weather Oak Hill, and I think it's 12% maximum. I've been watching the Tour de France, so I do, and they show the percentages that they're going up as well, and I didn't see any 12s yesterday, even though it was a fairly flat stage. So you know, it's a significant hill. But that particular hill, you know, I say all this stuff and put it in its true context, you know, but when I've come back from say a 7-day trip fully weighed down with all the gear, and I'm coming home, and the bike weighs a ton. I've been going for 7 days, I'm knackered, and I've still been able to get up that hill with all of that. So kind of puts it into perspective a little bit. Called Pump Cottage on the left. Although obviously hill climbing depends upon fitness, and fitness declines with age, so I'm very well aware of this. And this is a slow bit of that hill because we're going up. Because I'm not very fit at the moment, talking of fitness. It can be quite tiring. And I'm hot. And this is when the temptation is to take the helmet off. But I think a sweaty head is better than the remote possibility that I come off and smack my head on that concrete, tar, whatever it is, because it's very hard, really swollen. And I found out, as I tend to do in my life, the hard way. By crashing on it, and I've come away with serious bashes, bruises, you know, never hit my head though, but I've been pretty beaten up in the past, you know, dislocated thumbs, broken ribs, broken arm I think, never went to hospital, but I've got a massive lump in the bone in misshapen now. You know, stuff like that. Going left at this one. That was the hill, pretty much. Stick my arm out so I know. Down to the side. And, but what's made me wear the helmet now, more than anything, is the fall I had at home. Well, it was a trip over some wire. Turned out to be the vacuum cleaner wire. I know, because I had to fix it. I had to cut the wire near the vacuum cleaner end and reattach it, and lo and behold, it started to work. So that's what tripped me up. But that particular, you know, crash, it was a proper crash into the door, which is what was on the hip. And landing on my knee, you know, kind of the concrete floor underneath a little bit of thin lino. Again, it brought it home to me how hard this stuff is. And if you fall on it, you know, and if my head were to hit it, then I dread to think what would happen. Doing 21.5 miles an hour at the moment, and the camera looks to me to be vibrating pretty badly. So I might have to go back to the helmet cam if this doesn't work, which it probably won't. It's supposed to have image stabilisation, but you know, mind you, I'm not pedalling at the moment. I'm still doing 21 miles an hour, so hey, happy days. There's a foxglove in the hedgerows, which is deadly poison. Lots of elderflower, Queenland's lace, which looks a bit like hemlock. I think it's probably the same family, which is the carrots family apparently. So, you know, watch what you're doing with that stuff. Deadly. Some of these places, some of these farms, probably hardly changed in hundreds of years, I would imagine. That was called birch acre farm. Let's take a balm. Birch acre stables. Trespassers will be prostituted. Love it, I love being out. I mean, I had a very bad migraine yesterday, and I was really, it's not just a headache, it's a lot worse than that, and it put me in a major depression. Luckily only a day, but it gets like that. Literally you go vroom, right off the bottom, and I had a really bad day of it yesterday. Today, again, it's a bit of a reaction to that, to get myself out. And now I'm out. I love it again. Dirty, smelly M42. Can't get away from the fact that I live in Birmingham. Well, Solihull, but you know, Birmingham, innit? And it's surrounded by motorways, car city, people trapped in their little motors all the time. Although I have to say, I'm about to get my car back on the road after about 10 years. Took it in for its MOT on Friday and it failed. It needs a bit of welding. It's been stood for a long time, so I'm not surprised. And one of the shock absorbers is leaking badly apparently, so I'm having that done. The tyres were warnings because they're old and cracked, and you know, I said before I even took it in, I said I want the tyres changed. I can't drive around in a car with the risk of the tyres going. I know people do it, I'm not one of them. I'll shut that down. I've got no intention of stopping cycling. Like last time the car was on the road, I just used it for very specific things and cycled everywhere else. This is the kind of road, gravel all over it. The camera's shaking away like nobody's business. Let's move over. I'm running on a short 10 miler again today. Things to do, like marking, not my favourite activity, and I heard Chris Boardman say once that you are better off doing 3 or 4 short rides a week. You get more fit than if you do like a long ride a week or whatever. So trying to follow in the spirit of that, I am trying get himself out, even if they're only short ones. Hopefully in the not too distant future I think this will have increased, and it's a bit like getting a ball rolling really. When you first start everything's knackering, and that's when people give up because they think, oh, I can't do this. It's kind of understandable, but you've got to push through that, and when you do, once your fitness starts to come on after 2 or 3 weeks, you've got to do it enough, and not just on one ride and expect to wait 3 weeks and it come on. 2, 3, 4 rides a week, and your fitness comes up, and then it suddenly becomes easy, and then it opens up. There's somebody else who knows this. Morning. I mean, he looks old, he makes me look young. And there he is flying along. He's just like doing his thing. It's good for him. Getting cramp in my left calf. It's unusual. Right? This road coming up is the A435, which from where I am goes to Redditch. Another dirty road, big smelly dirty road that I try to avoid as much as possible, because you know, I'm actually being wiped out by a lorry. Thanks. I don't suppose I know much about it, but you know, let's assume it didn't happen last week and I'm still here enjoying today, and that's all. So it's just their district of Stratford-on-Avon. Lavender in the hedgerows. I love it, it's great. It's freedom, it's proper freedom. Well, you know, on the roads. So I decided to give a running commentary on this because it's a bit more interesting, I suppose, than just watching the, you know, the scenery. And also, when I first used the camera last week, I was a bit self-conscious about talking until I got about halfway round and I thought, sod it. And so this time I have decided to give a commentary, and it's quite good from my point of view because it's a bit like having somebody with me. It's a bit like lecturing as well, because when I'm lecturing, generally speaking, apart from the odd question, people sit there and listen, you know, and but from my point of view, I'm talking all that time, I feel a bit like that. Because when you're lecturing, obviously you're aware of people in the room, obviously, because you know that's why you're doing it. But in a way, it's a monologue, it's an internal monologue, which you have to keep track of, so that you give that monologue to the people in the room. Now when I'm lecturing, I use a whiteboard and demonstrate software, teach computer programming, amongst other things. And I can code, pleased to know. Not everybody who teaches it can. Probably won't be surprised to know. So I give demonstrations of stuff. I talk about something, then I type it in there and then in front of them and run it, that kind of thing. So I suppose in this scenario, it's scenery, which is the demo stuff. Although I would assume you're watching this because of the scenery and you don't listen to me droning on. There's some serious money in this area. Tell by the houses. I don't mind. You just cycle on by, smell their flowers, taking the scenery. I know some very wealthy people who are lovely. You know who you are. But it is beautiful around here. No two ways about it. I just kind of, this road is heading back home, and it's a bit taken me by surprise a little bit. I planned the route myself, but I did it on the computer. Well, I used software to do it, and I wasn't expecting to be heading home so soon. Get more serious money down here. Massive houses. Maxing my heart rate out again. Oh. Apparently, so I've read, car coming past. Fucking hell. What's wrong with those people? You got the V's there. Fat lot of good that did. Anyway. Apparently once your heart goes above a certain level, which is relative to you and your fitness, M42 again. Apparently your body can't shift the lactic acid, and because of that you're only meant to be able to continue for so long, like a few seconds, but I seem to be able to do it. I'm well in that range, makes my heart rate. I seem to be able to keep on going longer than that. Which is good. It doesn't kill me, you know how it goes. Nice rest now down a bit of a hill. Up the other side, quite a few people out today, surprisingly. Stinks. Got a mouthful of petrol or diesel, whatever it is. Morning. This is still morning. I find myself quite a lot saying morning to people at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So I've learnt to check my watch. That time after I said it though. hazard here. Impatient car drivers. Gave them a quick wave to say thank you in the interest of wider safety. You know, probably for the best, probably. But the countryside at this time of year is lovely. Deep green, damp. On days like today, nettles, ferns, beech, hazelnut, or hazel. Oak. Woodland. And when we're out on a bike trip, that's in a long distance, multi-day, wild camping, you know, a thing I haven't been able to do for lockdown, because of lockdown. Can't commute. Still come in. Getting back to the camping thing anyway. When you're out and about all day long doing this, you know, for days on end, you do really become attuned to the environment, sunrise, sunset, you know, what's around you, what the weather's doing, all that kind of thing. And when it gets towards the end of the evening, we quite often plan where we're going to stop. And those plans don't often work out, surprise, surprise. You know, you might have had a particularly hard day and you really just want to like get your dinner on, have a cup of tea, get in your tent and go to sleep, especially on the first couple of days before your body's hardened up to it. I didn't want to use the word hardened up to it, but you know, mind over matter, you push your body and it adjusts. It takes a couple of days at least. So car here. And when we're getting to the end like that, and you just want to crash, and you've not got as far as you wanted to, and you don't know where you're going to stop, woodlands like that. What you want to do, oh, car coming again behind me. But what you don't want is to be disturbed. What you want to do is camp, rest, sleep, eat, get up in the morning, pack away, brackets, leaving no trace, close brackets, and go. The last thing you want is somebody saying you can't camp here or whatever, because you're too knackered. I've got to stop swearing. So here I am coming to the end of this particular short ride, and on the last video I just cut it. I didn't know I was going to stop it there. So, you know, with a bit of hindsight now and video experience, I know roughly where I'm going to end the video. So, cheers. I hope you've enjoyed it, if you've got this far, and thanks for watching and listening to me drone on. Fucking twat!